What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time Early Edition. Not even noon yet where I'm at, and we're hanging with two of the sharpest minds in the biz. You know the drill. Say what's up. We got my guy Stevie in the house. What up, Stevie?
What up? I haven't seen YouTube for a couple days. I've been off the morning grind for a couple days. Had some family stuff going on, and glad to be back hanging out.
Good to have you, my man. I always enjoy doing these morning slates with you, so thrilled that you are here. And then you've got a NASCAR podcast that you're recording right at noon, so we're going to bounce a couple minutes before that. That sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. And where do the people find the NASCAR podcast if and when it comes out? Not if, it will be coming out.
It's on the Action Network podcast feed for Running Hot, and I'm sure people know what's up. It's a fantastic betting podcast for NASCAR, and have some bets that I really like this week. So like the last couple weeks for NASCAR bets, I've like early in the week I've been like but this week there's a few bets that I found that I really like this week. So we'll see how it works out.
Very good. Maryi Donizi says it is an awesome podcast. So there you go. You got some endorsements there. We got my guy TJ in the house rocking the orange RotoGrinders shirt, which is a rare one. These are hard to find. And you got your hands looking kind of swole too, brother. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I usually have the hoodies on down here, so the arms are hidden. But I the muscles aren't what they were about five years ago, and now they're starting to sag a little bit. But I'm excited for my dad strength to start coming in because it is wildly underrated how holding a baby for long periods of time in different positions and holding a car seat, and it's exhausting. And so I'm looking forward to the dad strength starting to come in over these next few years.
It will build in. Stevie and I strong. The dad strength is just off the charts with the two of us.
And you'll appreciate this because I've just been getting the urge to dive back into this lately. It's only a 3-game slate, even though we got a early out. We still got time. I at a bachelor party I was at last weekend. We golfed during the day, but afterwards we went back to his parents' place because they have a really nice house and they have like a half basketball court in their backyard. And it just gave me the urge so badly to start playing again. The reason I stopped is because the senior men's league here in Saskatoon runs Sundays, and it's during NFL season, and so that's just so hard to do with all the content we have. But I've only ever played in like the top division, and the last few years it's like I can play 2 minutes a shift at a time, and then I'm exhausted because all these guys are fast. They've all played at a college or somewhere, and I'm just not at that level anymore. So I decided at this event, playing with a bunch of people with a beer in hand, that I just want to go play in one of the lower ones.
Just go down a level, man.
Where it's nice and slow, shoot a bunch of threes, have some fun.
That is the move. Yeah, I'm still playing 3-4 times a week, mostly just shooting around, but it just it lifts my spirits. It's fun. I enjoy it. Highly recommend you get back into it. All right, let's talk about the slate a little bit. We'll start with weather because I'm a meteorologist. That is what I do. There's a low chance of a delay in the Cleveland game. I realize as there's only 3 games, some of us want a pitcher in that game. Just do it. Just do it. The chance of a delay is, I don't know, less than 10, maybe 10%. And even that wouldn't necessarily knock out the starting pitcher. So that's my only concern. And I think you just play it anyways. And with that out of the way, we can talk about the pitchers. And TJ, I will let you lead us off in that department.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, the pitcher in that game is going to be 60% owned on the slate, even higher in single entry stuff. And so I'm playing 3 lineups and I only have him in one of them. And so I actually wouldn't even hate if there is a delay that knocked him out of that one. That would be fine if the weather wants to go crazy and fire that up. But it's a weirdly good pitching slate for only 3 games. The top 3 guys that we're going to be looking at probably are Tanner Bybee, Brian Wu, and JP Sears. Bybee and Wu are the top 2 raw points options, I think, even though they're not the most expensive guys. Bybee has a tough matchup against Kansas City, but he's also much better against right-handed bats and outside of Vinny P. They don't really have that many lefties that we are all that worried about on that team. And then you have Brian Wu, who same thing, way better against righties, struggles against lefties, but he's playing in Oakland against Oakland. They're going to have a mix of righties and lefties, but outside of JJ Bleday and Seth Brown, again, really nothing we're worried about for power. And it's an in Oakland, which limits power. And this is a guy with a big strikeout rate going up against, I mean, not really this year, but in the past, going up against the Oakland team that loves to strike out. And then finally, we have JP Sears in that same game. Again, we're never super excited about playing JP Sears, but he's going up against Seattle, who has the highest strikeout rate in the league. And it's in Oakland, which mitigates power. And so those are the three guys that most people are going to. We got Cade Povich for Baltimore, rookie, having his MLB debut going up against Toronto. I actually think he's somewhat interesting for tournaments. I'm somewhat worried about the pitch count, but I do think he's somewhat interesting for tournaments. And then like you can literally play any pitcher on this slate. Brady Singer and Yusei Kikuchi are fine. I would rather play Kikuchi because I think he has more upside, but I'm not in my 3 lineups. And then Singer would be of the 6 pitchers, he'd be the one I'm least likely to play.
Okay, did get some comments here. One from Eric says, you can't play Woo. He's on a pitch count. Imagine playing a chalky Woo on a pitch count. Haha, good luck. Is there talk of a pitch count here? And are you concerned about that?
No, he's just hasn't thrown that many pitches all season long. Like his highest pitched game this year is 79, but he's also been his second lowest score of the year is 14.6 points. He's gone over 20 twice. He's gone over 30 once. There's 6 pitchers on the slate. And he's got the second highest upside.
Yeah. Okay.
Even in 80 pitches.
All right. Good note. Let's kick it over to Stevie. Stevie, what is your thoughts here as you look at these pitchers?
He is on a pitch limit. He's not going to throw more than like 80 to 85 pitches all year. They're limiting his pitches and his innings. So the fact that like he's super chalky on a 3-game slate, I'm probably going to fade him on my single entry team. I think he's probably the best pitcher on the slate if he was going to throw 90 plus pitches in 7 innings. But the fact that Brian Wu is chalky at 80 pitches is kind of funny. But I mean, that's just kind of where the slate is. He's the best pitcher on the slate. I like Bybee. Tough matchup against Kansas City. I mean, he potentially could have some issues against this Kansas City lineup, but I think that he's like my favorite play. JP Sears is way too cheap for a matchup with Seattle. As much as they strike out, we're playing pretty much anybody against Seattle at this point. Povich is actually like he's a prospect. Like this is a guy that's a top 10 prospect for Baltimore. He's shown great strikeout stuff in AAA this season. He's a lefty that throws like 95 to 97 on average, and he has decent control. He's really just started to click this year. Like last year, he was okay, and then like this year, he has really like kind of, clicked, and everything's kind of rolling for him. He's gotten his changeup fastball combination looking a lot better. Toronto's not the best team in baseball against left-handed pitching, so the power is kind of limited outside of like Schneider and Turner, like Springer, Bichette, all these guys that you would expect to hit left-handed pitching really well just haven't hit it, but they just don't strike out. So get a young pitcher that against a team that's going to make a lot of contact, so that's tough. Kikuchi's in a really tough matchup against Baltimore on the other side of that game. He's pitched well this year. His strikeout rate has dipped a lot. The problem with Kikuchi is he struggles with righties, and they're going to bat 6 to 8 righties against him here. So kind of where I'm at in my single entry build today is playing JP Sears and probably playing Bybee and just kind of eating the chalk, and maybe even playing I really am like debating on playing Brady Singer just because he's going to be the lowest owned pitcher on the slate. But I don't like that matchup because they don't strike out either. But there's not really an excellent strikeout matchup today outside of Wu and Sears. Sears is the clear guy for me because he's so cheap, and Wu is the chalky guy that is going to be capped at about 80 pitches or 6 innings because Brian Wu had a lot of elbow issues like in the minors and even in the majors. They basically came out. There's a good article, I think it was on Sports Illustrated, that they're just not going to let him throw more than like 80, 85 pitches all year and try to keep him healthy for the playoffs.
Okay. Would you say you can literally play any of these guys? Because it seems like if you were playing 20 entries, you might have a little bit of all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if you're playing 150 today, you have exposure to every single one of these pitchers today.
Yeah. Okay. Let's flip it. Let's talk about the stacks. Stevie, you can lead us off in that department.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think there's like a clear cut, like I'm stacking 5 guys from this team option today. So I think my build is going to be more of like a 3-3-2 type of build or like a 4-4 build. But 3-3-2 build is kind of what I'm looking at. I think you're playing more of the bullpen game today more than you're playing like against the starters. And honestly, we have some good bullpens. Toronto and Kansas City's bullpens are the 2 bullpens that I think you want to target the most here. So I'm looking a little bit at Toronto against Povich, and then I'm looking a little bit here at Cleveland against Singer. And I don't even hate maybe taking some shots on Oakland, but Seattle's bullpen's fantastic. It's just more of like Brian Woo's going to be chalky. I'm not going to play him because of the pitch count, so maybe I'll take some bats against him. But I don't think there's a clear-cut top stack today. I mean, that's just where I'm at.
Okay. TJ, your favorite stacks, or do you feel that there's a clear-cut top one?
Well, I kind of am looking at it in reverse, and that's why I don't care as much about fading the chalky pitchers because I don't like. I'm excited to play Povich at super low ownership, but other than that, like Bybee, Woo, Sears, any of them could fail to me. Kikuchi is facing the most powerful offense in the league this year. But in offense, to me, there's not necessarily a clear. This is the top team, but looking at ownership, there's clear. This is the top teams I want to fade. The Toronto Blue Jays have been horrific against left-handed pitching this year. Just absolutely no power. No, they don't strike out a ton, almost at all, but they haven't, which is why Povich is a little scary, but they haven't had any power. And if you look at the ownership percentage right now, Davis Schneider, 51.5%, Vladimir Guerrero, 38.5%, Danny Jansen, 32.7%, Bo Bichette, 32%, George Springer, 30%. They're the top 5 guys in their order are all 30+% owned today. The other highest owned team is Seattle. And so I'm just going to be heavily underweight on those 2 teams. I'm not playing them at all in my 3 lineups that I'm building today. But if I was running 150, I would make sure I'm heavily overweight on Justin Turner for the Blue Jays in my Blue Jays stacks and just play him. I maybe would X out Vlad just because he's going to be 40% owned and Turner is going to be less than 20 and just play Turner in all my Blue Jays stacks. But other than that, I want to get heavily overweight on Baltimore. I want to get heavily overweight on Cleveland, and I want to get heavily overweight on Kansas City. Because Baltimore has a few guys who are going very highly owned, but I mean, I don't care that it's left on left. I can get Gunnar Henderson today for 15% potential ownership. Maybe the guy who's been the AL MVP to this point in the season. And so I want to be heavily overweight on Baltimore. I want to be heavily overweight on Kansas City against Bybee. They currently don't have a single player projecting for double-digit ownership on a 3-game slate. And they're probably the best offense, second best offense on the slate behind Baltimore. Just because Bybee is going to be super highly owned and he's the best pitcher on the slate. But this is still Kansas City. They're really good. And then the last one is Cleveland because, again, Jose Ramirez, 14% projected ownership. Josh Naylor, less than 10%. Naylor's one of my favorite bats on the slate. So I'm going to try to be overweight on those 3.
Okay, very good. The people are clamoring for some Spidey bombs. Do you want to give a pitch and a number at which we will get a Spidey bomb, TJ?
All right, let's see. We got 140 people watching on YouTube, so that means I'll drop 2 Spidey bombs at 50 likes.
There you go. Get those likes up, free content, and free Spidey bombs coming your way. We've got about 10 minutes until we need to bounce here, so let's go position by position, and we'll just each take one spot. And Stevie, you can start us off. What do you like at catcher?
Yeah, I want to pay up for Rutschman as much as possible. He's just been fantastic. Kikuchi, when he does struggle, is right-handed power, and Rutschman is like, usually I like to spend down at catcher, but I think Rutschman has like 2 home run upside. And then like Jansen has been phenomenal this year. So taking him against the rookie lefty, I think is fine. Spending down a little bit, maybe you take shots on like a Bo Naylor or like a Kyle McCann. But overall, Rutschman and Jansen as much as possible.
All right, TJ, how about first base?
Josh Naylor and Ryan Mountcastle, my two favorites by far. Lower ownership on these guys. Mountcastle I know we're not BVP or especially BV team people, but Mountcastle just always absolutely kills the Blue Jays. I like Justin Turner, low ownership, Manzardo, basically anybody not named Vladimir Guerrero today.
Okay. Stevie, second base.
Sorry, my lineup HQ wouldn't load. I like Schneider a lot. We talked about him against Povich, batting leadoff there. Connor Norby for Baltimore. I think he's fine against Kikuchi. Outside of that, maybe like some Dylan Moore against Sears. Sears can be kind of chalky. It's a 3-game slate, so you could potentially play like 1 or 2 hitters against your pitcher. It's not the craziest idea. So I think those would be the 3 guys. In my lineup right now, like my single entry, I have Norby. I'm going Baltimore, Cleveland, Toronto as that 3-3-2 that I was talking about.
Okay, great. TJ, that brings us to third base.
I like the Norby call quite a bit there at second. I want to just add that in as well. But third base today, Jose Ramirez, I'm going to be trying to get to as much as possible at nice, cheap. If I'm going to play Vladimir Guerrero, it probably would be here at third. But I like with Dylan Moore and Guerrero picking up the highest ownership, I'm going to try and get to Jordan Westberg and Jose Ramirez here as much as possible. Maybe Maikel Garcia as well. Okay,
that brings us to short. Stevie, that's on you.
Yeah, I just wanted to note that my personal model has Jose Ramirez by far the biggest and best play on the slate. So that was third base, but I like Bo Bichette. I think he's underpriced for 4,200 facing the rookie. Gunnar Henderson, TJ was talking about the lefty. I like that a lot. This is a guy that can hit anything and anybody. Bobby Witt's going to be really loaned against Bybee. So spending up, we keep talking about it. We've talked about it so much, but shortstop is a position you just want to spend up for this season. It's just such a loaded position. Spend up for one of these 3 guys. There's just so much you're losing ceiling wise if you're not paying up for one of those 3 guys.
Okay. Then with that, we get to go to the outfield, and TJ, you've got us there.
All right, outfield position. I want to fade most of these high-owned guys. Schneider I do like, but at 50+% ownership, I just can't get there. Julio Rodriguez, same thing. I like the Baltimore guys, though. Hayes and Santander, despite the high ownership. And then mid-range cheapies, I like Seth Brown and JJ Bleday going up against Woo. I don't want a full stack against Woo, but I don't mind those guys as some one-offs, assuming they are in good lineup spots. We did just get that lineup right now, so I'll double-check it. Bleday batting third, Brown batting fifth, perfect. And then Will Brennan, I don't mind in the mid-tier. But Santander and Stephen Kwan are probably the 2 guys I'm spending up for the most.
Stevie, any other names in the outfield you want to mention? I know there's a ton of plays over there usually.
Yeah, Santander is one of my favorite home run plays today against Kikuchi. He has the batted ball profile is just phenomenal for him. So I really like him. Jose Ramirez's power has been way down against lefties this year. He's going to be very chalky. So I don't mind being underweight on him. Schneider. And then Brent Roker for a 3-game slate should be someone you should be targeting if you're playing more than 3 teams. He's just been a guy that's been consistently good all year. Woo's going to be kind of popular, so I don't mind that. And then on the cheap end, I don't mind Austin Hayes at 2.5K if you need to save some money.
Okay. Make sure you're getting those thumbs up in. We're trying to get to 50 likes so we can get 2 Spidey bombs. In the meantime, you should know there's never been a better time to sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. Whatever sport you're looking for, whatever price level you're looking for, you can get a 6-month combo subscription. Exclusive price, $469.99. That is a savings of $250 as opposed to doing it month by month. And if you want a test run, 3-day pass is only $19.99. That's cheaper than lunch for most folks. So make sure you are getting that done. What do we got?
I had some Publix chicken for lunch. It was so good. Rod, did you know about Publix chicken? Some fried chicken.
The rotisserie or fried chicken?
No, fried. I like the rotisserie too. You ever had the Mojo rotisserie chicken from Publix? Oh, so good.
No, it sounds amazing though. It's got the lime. It's yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Chicken tender
absolutely
pub
delicious.
sub. Oh, I mean, that's
the
just
move.
That's
That
the
is
move.
elite.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
elite right there. Wow,
Oh,
we got people
they
that know
have
what's up.
they have a Havana bold sub that I really like too. Public
like a
subs
Cuban?
are very underrated.
What is a Havana bowl? Is like a Cuban?
It's like a spicy cheese with some like ham and like spicy mayonnaise and stuff. It's fantastic. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, their subs are delicious. And the bread with those little yellow flaky things that fall
So
off the
underrated,
bread.
man.
It's, the texture is just phenomenal, man. Absolutely love it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I derailed the show. That's my fault.
It's okay. We have about 3-4 minutes until we're going to bounce on out of here. If you have questions, get them in right now. But as of now, there have not really been a whole lot of questions.
Pretty straightforward slate.
And you guys did an excellent job explaining it as well. Let's see. Somebody said there's some dude on Cleveland who's 2-2 and can hit. Who are they talking about? 2.2K and can hit on Cleveland.
I am playing him. I'm just pulling him back up so I don't mess up his name.
Schneemann. Yeah, he just got called up, I think, like 2 days ago. Sunday? I don't even know. What's today? Today's Thursday? Yeah, he got called up on Sunday.
All right. So we got some Schneemann in that lineup, TJ?
Yeah, I got some Schneemann. And Norby. I like those guys as my punts today. Brian Marshall asked Norby or Hampson. It's Norby.
Great. Poe Degen Stoner, who said he started his day off with a bong rip and baseball, says he is in the mood for fried Oreos, brownie bites, and Twinkies. Which these things go hand in hand with how you started your day. It's
sounds
matching
like a fair
up.
night.
Yeah, sounds like good times. DK GPP, we got that one. That was the Norby versus Hampson. Your favorite pitcher? Great question from Beaner. Both of your favorite pitchers in a FanDuel GPP.
I think it's JP. I think it's JP Sears for me. To be honest, like I think I'm just gonna play the strikeout upside, and I want all the bats. Like if I play Sears, then I can get the home runs that I want to chase here.
Yeah, I like it. TJ, you have a different take. Favorite FanDuel GPP pitcher?
Yeah, I would do that. Sears would be mine too because he is only 7.3K and he's projecting for the second lowest ownership behind Brady Singer. I would go.
I don't believe
I would go
it.
see.
He's going to be the second highest owned pitcher. He's going to be lock it in right now. See the second highest.
It'll be Bobby and Woo. It'll be Bobby and Woo for sure. Like Bobby's going to be 50% owned. Woo will be 20 to 25, and Sears is going to come in lower. But Sears would probably be my number one, and number two for me, despite the terrible matchup, would actually be Yusei Kikuchi because he's only 8K over there. Yeah. He's the second cheapest pitcher on DraftKings, and he's the most expensive second cheapest on FanDuel, but the most expensive on DraftKings.
Interesting. Okay. Hey, with that, we have hit what is like kind of our mini lock hour out. So we're going to bounce on out of here. Keep in mind, we have a bigger slate tonight. Let's see, 6 or 7 games. And we're going to be back at it. More content going to take you up through lock. We got one last question from K-Town's Finest. Stevie, thoughts on Pasquantino, Kansas City, and 5-man for single entry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily hate it. Bybee is going to be really chalky. So, like, if you're in the mentality of, like, it's a 3-game slate, I'm in a game theory first place or last place, I mean, I get the thought process. And if I was going to stack Kansas City, Pasquantino, he's going to be the low-owned piece there because, you know, we have Mountcastle, we have Naylor, we have so many good first base plays. So, I mean, yeah, if you're stacking Kansas City on the game theory aspect of, like, Bybee's going to be the chalk, I'm going to finish first or last, I get it. But yeah, I would definitely have Pasquantino in that stack.
Okay, very good. Did we get enough likes for some Spidey bombs, TJ, before we bounce?
We got 38. No, we did not.
I think you just give them to the people. We're leaving early because of me.
I will give one. I'll give one.
We're going to give one. We're going to do one.
And actually, you know what? No, Stevie, that's a good point. We're leaving early. And so the first one is Josh Naylor, Spuddy Bum number 1. My favorite DFS play today. You can get him for plus 475. Second Spidey Bum is just seeing which one of these guys have better odds. Adley Rutschman plus 575, Spidey Bum number 2.
Very good. Stevie, you got a name or two for me?
Yeah, I like Santander, like I mentioned. I like the Naylor call. He's another guy that I really like for home run today. So, but Santander he's my favorite home run play today. His batted ball profile, like I said, is fantastic for this matchup.
Okay, great.
I
We got
also
to
want
bounce on out of here.
Santander to hit a home run today too.
Very good. Okay. Stevie's got some NASCAR to cover, and we're going to be back a little bit later on today with more content. So make sure you tune back in this afternoon. For Stevie, for TJ, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you later today. You have been crushed.